Good morning, everyone, and happy 2026. This is MDB Modified Darvas Box, and I'm coming at you here we are on January 10th at 9:52 a.m., and it's the first video of the new year. Yay! And I hope everybody had a great holidays and had a great trading week on this first week that we just completed. It was crazy. Things were ripping, things were dropping, and also which items were ripping and which were dropping was pretty interesting as well. And we may have a whole new set of winners as the market takes profits on stuff that which was winners last year, and now it might be identifying new winners. Or you know what? Maybe it's just a 1 week head fake, and then we'll see more of the same, like Mag 7 and all that jazz and stuff like that. But who knows? But the way we need to look is we'll get into the charts and check it out. For everybody who doesn't know who I am, I'm an independent trader, investor. I've been doing this. I placed my first trade since 1995. So I've traded through the internet bubble of the 1990s and early 2000s. I've been through the crushing bear markets after that, the hangover from it. And then I've lived through the great financial crisis and of 2008, 2009, and then the great stimulus, which got things back on track, COVID, all that stuff. So basically, I've been around. But, and let me tell you, these markets are so good compared to what they have been in the past. It's incredible. During all that time, I started as a Can Slim, William O'Neill IBD type trader. I've evolved, and I keep adding new things and new ideas, which everyone should be doing, in my opinion. And around 2013, I decided that the Wand Can Slim just wasn't working enough, and I switched to more of a Darvas style based on the book by Nicholas Darvas, How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market. Look it up. It's a fantastic book. And I saw a system there where nobody else was talking about a system. I'm like, this is a valid system. And I implemented a lot of those principles. And then in the early 2020s, I learned the STRAT strategy, which was founded by a trader named Rob Smith, who's now deceased. And I implemented many of those principles as well because things just made more and more sense. And that's the same thing. As a trader, I've been evolving, and as a trader, you should be evolving. But cherry pick the best of what you see, implement it, and away we go. So on my charts here, I've got 6 lists right here under here. My program is TC2000. I love this program. It's a wonderful, wonderful, robust program platform, but there's plenty of good programs out there. So pick one you like. And I've got 6 lists, and I always start with indexes to get the big picture. And basically on my charts, we've got lots of colors here. I trade a lot by color. I have conditions set to turn different bars colors if they meet certain conditions. Right here, we've got a white bar sell signal, but a yellow bar buy signal. We've got orange ones, hammers, and shooters, which are bullish and bearish. And then we've got pink bar signals like you see right here. And that's a warning sign. It doesn't mean panic and sell, but it's a warning. It means sit up and pay attention. Something may be happening. And then you've got these gray bars, which are inside bars. Inside bars are basically 50-50, where the market can't decide. The price is inside the prior bar range. The market can't decide where to go. Should it go up? Should it go down? And the whole idea is you see an inside bar and you prepare to then trade the direction that price goes in the next bar, because the next bar is always more important than the signal bar. And then volume down here, I think volume is hugely important, and some people poo-poo it. Sure, go ahead, poo-poo it. The less people that look at volume, the better it is for me. And then, we have a Darvas box structure, a box range. Boxes aren't magic; they're just ranges, etc. But they're very good framing tools. So, anyways, my core time frame is weekly, but I do like to look at monthly, quarterly, yearly, daily, multiple time frames, because what's interesting and few traders look at is something that's happening on one time frame may be bullish, and something that's happening on another time frame may be very bearish. And that's just trying to stay away from pitfalls and traps like that. Okay, enough of me talking. Let's get into the charts. We're going to be looking at a lot of charts today. By the way, I have not really done a lot of moving charts around, so we're probably going to see different stocks that I need to move to different lists. But that's the whole point. I don't do any of that work on Fridays. Give yourself the evening off. Do it on Saturday morning. Okay, the first chart here on indexes, AFK Africa. This looks pretty darn good, huh? For a weekly chart, nice steady uptrend. For a portfolio, a long-term portfolio, why wouldn't you want a little slice of this? Volume's a little thin here, but hey, look at all these buyers. I pumped Africa a little bit on my Twitter account and this one, and I'd say people are starting to take a look at it. Good diversification. Not only am I a trader, and, I'm looking at swing trade and all that, but I want to hold as long as I can, That's how you hold through these long uptrends. Why should anybody have sold this? You shouldn't. If you bought it back here in April, you should still be long this thing. The whole point of this is not, in and out like a goddamn day trader. It's really about buying and then sitting on your ass and just banking from that. You want to be a super trader? There's far more super traders that just buy and sit in the trend and trend follow than there are in and out short-term traders. So Africa looks fantastic. AMZ, this is the MLP index, going a lot of sideways here. You see lots of different boxes because oil's sort of going sideways. However, let's look at the monthly chart. Hey, look at that. Monthly, a nice sideways Darvas box and a nice uptrend overall from 2021. I own some MLPs. They generate real good income. And as a trader, you should be thinking about developing a stream of income. That's why everybody has their own goddamn trading service, is because they're looking to get a stream of income. Instead, just make more money and put it into stuff like MLPs or closed-end funds or mutual funds that pay income, junk bonds. Sooner or later, you get a big enough number. You get $1 million, pays out 8% on a junk fund. Yeah, that's $80,000 a year. That pays your bills. You make $2 million profits in the market, take $1 million of that, put it in a junk fund. Now you can trade full time and not have to be constantly pitching a service. Incredible smart, huh? Or you just retire. Let's see. Art, Kathy Wood, going weekly here view, sideways. And look at that. We got little hammers right here, but nothing too crazy. These yellow bar signals were signals to get long way back here. But you know what? If you had this, you might have sold. Box breakout moves up and then comes back down. You might have sold in here. It all depends on what your objectives really are. But that's the point I wanted to make on that. Let's take a look. Oil, sideways. Weeks and weeks and weeks. Let's see, it started going sideways back here in June. And Venezuela and all that. Man, it'll take decades for Venezuelan oil to get going. But, more sideways. Looks okay to me. NASDAQ, the big daddy. Everybody thinks we're in a total bull market. Well, we are in certain areas, but for the big boys, sideways. Look at that. Nice sideways Darvas box. However, it keeps flirting with the top here, like it wants to break out, but I don't know until it does. Look at the volume. Notice how the volume decreased, and now it's perking up a little bit, but I don't know. We'll see. Any daily signals? Got got something here. That's a little more bear. You got here, here. See, it's kind of a mess on that. How about monthly? Let's switch monthly. Monthly is a lot more benign. So you see, monthly's just hanging around. Now, monthly is forming a sideways box, but it hasn't closed yet. Why? Because the month isn't over. Don't touch it until the bar is over. Easy to say, hard to do. Let's see what else we got. Ethereum. Yeah, who gives a rat's butt about that? Big up, went sideways, big down. I mean, who really cares? I know some crypto people won't care, but crypto, it's hard to see the value in it until it gets used really like real money. I'm always going to be a skeptic. Does it mean I missed all those huge gains? Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not a crypto guy. FFTY, a proxy for growth stocks. What does that look like? Sideways. Sideways for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks now. Almost a quarter. So maybe we'll get some change there. FXI, that's China. Love the way he says China. Sideways. More and more sideways action. That's could be a little bearish, but there's no huge volume or anything, so we'll see what happens. Would you bet against China right here? Yeah. I'd be wanting to, if I wanted to bet against something, I'd do it more on the break of the box right here, or if there's some compelling reason. Gold keeps moving up, a little herky jerky, but still looks great. Notice the big run up here, and then the volume bar. This is a great study in volume. Let's get that. So, how to use volume? Green, oh, that's awesome. Look, box breakout. Man, they're piling money into this. This is awesome, right? And then the red. Notice how the red was almost as much as the green. That's where contrary forces said, nope, 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 that's far enough. But here's the thing. We only got one bar of red. Then price settled down. It formed an inside bar right here, and reaction was up. And ever since then, the trend has been back up. Now, and the buyers doesn't need a ton to push it up higher. And now here the buyers are starting to come back. We only got one bar. So when you see that kind of tells you the resistance showed up, lower your expectations. Notice here, when you get big red followed by big green, that's pretty bullish. Big green followed by big red, it means cool your jets. However bullishness you may have, you might want to lower your expectations. Junk bonds, sideways, but pointing up a little bit. This is good for America. If junk bonds are breaking down, that means we got problems. Insurance, more sideways. I talked about insurance on Twitter. Notice here this huge, long, sideways box from last December. It's now been a year. It went up like it's going to break out, and now it's coming back down. And everybody hates insurance companies. I do too. Health insurance keeps going up. Car insurance, what value do we get from it? Not much, but these fuckers make a lot of money. Check out the monthly chart. Look at that. Sideways in that monthly box. There's that bullish volume signal that they like it, but it hasn't really gone anywhere. We don't need that one. How about different time frame? Let's look at quarterly. Ooh, sideways. I don't have any boxes drawn on the quarterly, but let's draw at least one. So you see, here's our interpretation. Should we put all our money in this? No. It's waiting. We're waiting for something to happen. And hopefully your heads are nodding. Oh, yeah, I see that. Yeah. How about a yearly chart? See what I mean about insurance? It's a great spot for long term. And look at them pour money into it back in 2022 and stuff. Overall, a great long-term sector. So if you're running a long-term portfolio, you better have some insurance. Bitcoin, just slop. This here hasn't even formed a valid Darvas box yet in here. So probably expect lower on Bitcoin. Notice the Darvas box breakdown right here. We've had nothing but red volume. Yeah, an inside day, which didn't really go anywhere. A bullish hammer here, it didn't trigger. So when you see people talking on Twitter about how bullish they are at Bitcoin, just laugh because there's nothing bullish. The last bullish signal we had was this failed breakout back in October. Ever since then, nada. There's nothing bullish about it. Software down to sideways. Look at this. Going back here, the breakdown over the tariff tantrum. Say that 10 times fast. It moves higher. You know, it does the rebound. No huge volume, but okay. Software forms a box here, and now it broke down here. Whoopsie, here broke down. Did a little rebound here, and now formed a little sideways. But do we have any big green buyers? No. Do we have big red sellers? Yep. Software is in a downtrend. Now, is it in a heavy downtrend or a light downtrend? Well, I'd call it light probably here. But if this breaks down again, woof, maybe AI is going to eat software. What do we got here? Home construction, ITB. What does this look like to you? Is that bullish or bearish? That is a Darvas box breakout. If you read the book, you know what I'm talking about. Big green volume. This is also a colored yellow bar, which is also a buy signal in my coding here. Yellow bar buy signal, big green volume. It makes perfect sense that it correlates with Trump's announcement about they're going to buy down rates with a lot of money. What was it, like $200 billion or something? The whole point is to try and make housing more affordable. If you make housing more affordable, guess what? You sell more houses and build more. Bullish, huh? All this crap makes sense when you bring it all together. There was a bullish hammer right there. This bar went up a little, but, pulled back, and now blammo. Did you need to buy it in here? No. But now that it's gone positive, it means look at the housing stocks like DHI, Lennar, Pulte. I bet they look really nice right now. Micro caps. Look at that. Micro caps. Huge volume. Let's mark that. Huge volume. A breakout level. It also had a breakout here, but no volume. Well, went sideways, formed a box, breakout here, and now blammo. This is microcaps. I don't know what stocks are in microcaps, but microcaps are bullish. Small cap rally. Look at that. On a monthly chart, had a breakout here, but lower volume. It's been kind of messy. Look at that. Quarterly chart. Darvas box breakout. Look at that. Look at that long quarterly setup. Small caps, baby. That's going to be where it's at. I'm sensing a theme for 2026. Small companies, small caps, blah, blah, blah. We should look at what the heck is inside these. Hey, AOI. I remember that. There's some bios. So, boy, there's a hodgepodge. 1,300 names? Oh, my God. Well, that's a lot. More than I can keep track of. So anyways, we now know that microcap stocks are hot. They're positive, moving up. Maybe if you don't know which stocks to buy a small cap mutual fund. Let other managers pick it. Point is, what's bullish, what's working, what's not. Right here, the Russell 2000, another small cap index. Let's move this out a little bit. Hey, gee, look at that. Box breakout on the weekly chart. Does it have a quarterly corresponding? Yes, it does. In fact, it broke out 1 quarter before microcaps did. Look at that, volume, volume, volume. This is quite bullish. And there's an example of multi-time frame analysis. Healthcare. Okay, healthcare came down quite a bit in 2024-25. Had some vicious, sharp rebounds. Why, I do not know. I'm not a healthcare expert. But look at this. It tried to break out, failed, and now it's back in the box range. Had a blue bar, which is bullish, but the history of these blue bars compared to the pink bars is the blue bars is a little checkered. Like you see that and you think, oh man, it's so bullish, I got it. To me, it's based on history, like right here, a blue bar is almost signaling like exhaustion, but not every time. See, that's the problem. It's a little inconsistent. But you see, we had a blue signal here and then thunk, blammo, they were sell, sell. So I'm a little wary of when I see a blue, or call it purple, whatever you want to call that color, blueberry. I'm a little wary of this when I see it, because, is that an exhaustion or is that the start of a new trend? So keep that in mind. Transports. Look at this. Sideways box. Yeah, we had some action in the box, but it kept going sideways. Then the breakout here, nothing too crazy, formed a little mini box. You call it a ledge or something. And now there's our strength. A confirmed box breakout right there. Transportation's doing good. All these illegal truckers getting arrested, and fewer trucks mean higher prices for the industry. That's bullish. Pardon me while I take a sip of water. And let's see what we got here. MNRS. Somebody told me to follow this. I can't remember who or why, but miners, for like these data center miners, not doing anything. So whenever I see that people talk about like IREN or Wolf or other ones, I just go, yeah, whatever. QQQs, sideways in the box. Note here, there's that bullish hammer. Bullish, it triggered higher, but it didn't really go anywhere. You could have bought it off that, but it just sort of flopped around, no follow through. Like if you had bought that, you'd have seen the signal, you would have bought it around anywhere up here. But like any good trader, you have a stop or a get out price. As soon as it opened here or went to here, you're out. So you would have tried it and then been kicked out. Hopefully for a small loss and able to fight again another day. So we know that NASDAQ, sideways, QQQ, sideways. So some important areas of the market are going sideways. RSP, equal weight S&P 500, less tech, very bullish. And look at that. It formed this very tight Darvas box. Lots of signals in here. A lot of volume. But look how tight it got. And then this here looks like a box breakdown. But at the same vein, that's also coded as a bullish hammer pattern. So we'd be a little nervous, but then we'd be, watching and waiting. And then the next week, look how that took off. Blammo. Went higher. Burst through the top of the box. That's a breakout. Volume's a little low, but okay, can deal with that. Up, 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 and double inside. A little shake and bake in here, and now blammo, up. That's just telling us that those other sectors of the market, not technology, are making their move, And it's good to see because tech has dominated. And that just shows how things are changing a little bit here in 2026. What else we got here? RTH, retail. box range, box range, sort of a box range with a little bit of excitement here, and then blammo. Start the new year with a bang. That is a confirmed breakout. Retail's doing good. Shy short-term interest rates. When this sucker goes down, that means rates are going up. When this is going up, that means rates are going down. So currently, is this going up? No. Is this going down? No. It's sort of sideways. I'd say rates are, kind of locked in here until the Federal Reserve does something. But rates are a little lower than they were. Rates were higher in this range, lower in this range. But interest rates aren't moving anytime quickly. That's what I get from this. Silver, oh man, what a trend. Look at this breakout way back here. Let's mark that with our handy circle. Way back here, I was not looking at silver. I've never been a precious metals trader, but damn, ride the trend, sideways again, and then move out again. And then here's that first red bar, but look at that, followed by an even bigger green bar. Silver's going higher. That's all there is to it. This was people screwing around, and now whoever shorted it thinking that this is the top, well, they're now getting rolled and getting their fingers burnt off or faces ripped off. It's commodities. If you're bullish silver, just sit and do nothing, Ride that trend, baby. Look right here. You got a yellow bar signal to start it off. And boom. If you bought silver in 2025, man, you're loving it. Why would you sell? Why would you sell just because of all the headlines? This is the last week of the year or Christmas or whatever. There's no need. The trend's up. The only people who would need to screw around were those who were late and chased it up here. Supply and demand. What do we got here? The SMH, microchips, semiconductors. Very bullish. And this one now has launched the week, and now we're going to change that to a green. So if there's one technology bullish area, semiconductors looks great. How are we looking on the monthly chart? Monthly, there's that box breakout right here. It just keeps going up. Box breakout back here. How about quarterly? Box breakout. Look at that. There's that blue, but no, it just keeps going up. So you see how if you change your time frames, you can spot opportunities everywhere. You don't need to be in and out trading all the time, in my opinion. And notice for all you moving average junkies, I haven't mentioned the 10-day or the 20-day or the 50-day or the 70-day or the 100-day or the 150-day or the 200-day. Anybody who's known me for a while knows that I don't think moving averages have as much value as people think they do. I hardly use them. I only use one moving average, and I only use it as a red light, green light. If price bars are below it, they get coded red. If they're above it, they get coded green. That's it. That's all I use it for. So all the moving average junkies, keep in mind that you don't need to be have your screen cluttered with moving averages. I dare you to remove them and see how that impacts your chart reading and chart interpretation. All right, SPYs. I can't believe we're still on indexes here. SPY. I'm talking way too much. SPYs. Look at that. Well, wait a minute. S&P 500. The big kahuna. S&P 500 confirmed breakout right here. Went sideways but drifted higher because it's stronger than the NASDAQ. Three bars above means that's confirmed. I shut off the box. Done. Now we see what happens. Week 4, 1, 2, 3, week 4 or so breakouts tend to be where if there's anything contrary comes up, well, that's where we will see it. So eyes peeled for this next week. Maybe we get some red selling pullbacks. I don't know. We'll see. And this matches. The reason I have spies on here is when I want to verify volume. Okay, sentiment. T2106, short McClellan oscillator. Kind of benign, neither too high or too low. You can see some of the extremes when we get to there. Percent of stocks above the 200-day. Look at that, 54%. This is looking very nice. Oop. My mouse. You can see right here where the tariff tantrum, when this gets below the green bar, just hold your nose and just buy. Doesn't even matter what you buy. You know that a rebound is coming really fast. And it'll be a long-term rebound. Here we go. Stocks above the 40-day. This one's pretty sensitive, but you see we had a couple scares over here. But look at that. 61%. Market's healthy, baby. TAN, solar ETF. Look at that. Darvas box, Darvas box, Darvas box. Now a longer one, Darvas box. Solar's recovering, but yeah, I don't know. Notice the pink bar signal right here, and then it started going sideways after that. Bullish, but maybe not as bullish in the moment right here. TLTs, price going down. When price goes down, rates go up. Interesting. And the VIX. The VIX collapsed again as it should. And yeah, nothing crazy on the VIX. When the VIX goes above this green line right here, again, hold your nose and just buy. See right there, that top? Just buy everything in sight. No need to do anything else. Commercial real estate, sideways, REITs. XLE. There's that Venezuela thing. But for the most part, XLE, oil and gas, sideways. We already know that. XLF, financials. It just goes up. That's all it does. Up, 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 up. Nice uptrends, nice and steady Eddie. It's hard to bring the market down if banking is healthy and doing well. Energy utilities for AI. Notice how I had this long base, went up, some breakouts here, but now it's been pulling back for a bit. Interesting, huh? Probably the reality is that it's much harder to ramp energy generation than, the headlines might say, we're going to invest $1 trillion. However, it takes 10 years for it to come online. That's what they don't say. So still bullish, but, keep that in mind. Okay, that's indexes. We got a good picture of the markets. Generally bullish. Small caps are looking exciting. Tech is sort of coming along, but tech's not leading. Big tech, that is. So we'll see. So now we get into individual stocks. I've got right here my lists, and list 2, textbook Darvas box breakout leaders. And this is where it matches up the pattern precisely on these individual stocks. And these are stocks I consider to be leaders. First one, AIVA. I was a buyer right in there. I was buying this the last few days. Whoop, no, I want blue. And by the way, I think it's good if you mark your charts where you trade. Some softwares will do it automatically if it's linked up, or you can just do it by hand. But either way, I think it's good because then you see where am I trading. If you were a buyer, let's say, oh, right in here. You'd be like, why? Why would I have wasted my time in here? There's nothing there, you know. But here we got something good. Look at that huge volume spike. That and a yellow bar signal looks awesome. Nice little box range. That screams leader. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in future days, but that's pretty darn bullish. And why did we buy it? Well, if you see right here, we've got on the daily chart, nothing really grabbed. Maybe right here would have grabbed you. But then whatever that was, I think it was news, blammo, box breakout. But then look what it did the next couple of days. It gave you 2 extra days to get in. Hammer pattern, another hammer pattern. This is also double inside bars. Double inside is very bullish. Double inside means energy's building because it's like sideways, a range. You know when traders like to say it's coiling, it's getting tight. Double inside bars is the signal for that. If you don't see double inside or triple inside, it's not coiling, it's not tight. But each range was inside the prior range. And then blammo. So you didn't even have to buy it on this first day. You could have waited a couple days. So, but either way, a great start to that one. Looks nice to me. Amazon, box breakout right there. Now notice that it did it before, went up and then failed, and then kept going sideways. So we'll see if this one keeps going. This is a large box range right here. How about monthly? Yeah, see monthly chart, box range, breakout. But the thing about Amazon is it's not acting super special. Where's the giant volume? There was bigger volume here on the sell side than there is on the buy side. But Amazon's in the lead and moving right now. So ASTS space, box breakout here. Now this is a wild one. It goes up and down, up 12, up 10, down 12. I mean, it's all over the place. Notice because that market cap is $32 billion and this doesn't earn anything. I want to change screens here and bring you to a website I found. I do not have a relationship with this website, but I've tried it. I think it looks awesome. If you want earnings and sales information, come here. I'm going to buy a subscription. And you see right here, you get the chart, but more importantly, the earnings and sales. And it'll show it to you on quarterly basis and a yearly basis. So this stock has a $30 billion market cap. It's projected to do $500,000 in sales and lose 16 cents a share. No, excuse, yeah, 500,000. It hasn't even made $1 million in revenue yet, and it's already worth $32 billion. Investors are an optimistic bunch on space. You mentioned space, they gotta have it. Is this a house of cards waiting to tumble? Maybe. But I think investors currently are probably comfortable with this reality. In 2026, it's supposed to earn $235 million. When, I'm not sure, but here we go. Here's the, okay. So, oh, wait a minute. That was March 24. September, it made $14 million. Then it's supposed to make 35, 43, 70. Okay, so sales are increasing, but you got to be careful because $32 billion market cap, oof, just be careful. Notice here, and that's really the reason why it's so wild. People got to have it, but man, you're buying a lot of promises. Reality hasn't happened for this stock yet. So, but again, it's hot. This is how certain stocks move. Just be aware of what you're trading. Uh, BLDR, housing. We know housing took off. Well, there it is right there, box breakout. These guys supply wood and stuff like that to home builders. Very difficult, but look at that. Are we back to bullish? Maybe. BTU, box breakout. You want to buy some coal? Energy, need for energy, demand for energy. Look at that. BTU looks good. CN. Oh, I left a few charts in here where they shouldn't be in here. This is an example of me moving them around. Pink bar warning signal. It's been a hell of a trend from that breakout back in September. It went from, call it base of 92. If you had bought that, call it 116, and now it's at 230. That's close to that's a double. My math skills on a Saturday morning. So because that's a pink bar, that's a bearish warning signal. So I'm going to put that in bearish signals. It no longer qualifies to be on this list. Compass Group. Look at that. Big box with a nice tight consolidation box. We all like tight boxes, right? And now the huge breakout. It was some news. I forget. I was watching it. I don't own it. But breakout and blammo. Look at that. We could have all bought this in the tens and be up 20% in an instant like that, maybe 30. If we had paid attention to the yellow bar signal, which I did, but I just never bought it. If we had paid attention and bought it here, well, then we'd be long from, call it $9. And now we'd be, sitting on some real nice returns. Anybody want to be up 30% for the year already on this? I do. But that looks lovely. Ford Motor Company. I was pounding the table all in the fall on this as a future winner. Box breakout. And because this volume here, this volume bar is the biggest damn volume it's had in multi-years. Ladies and gentlemen, the market is trying to tell us something. When volume is that big, the market is yelling. Buy, buy, buy. Let's see if we can see this here. That's monthly. I had a much better look on it. There we go. Here's a yearly. So yearly chart. Huge sideways. Okay. But the big volume here, biggest since 2010. So the biggest volume in 15 years, and also a yellow bar signal. I'd say that means Ford Motor Company is going very positive. What if it goes back up to 30? Well, there's a double right there. Plus, you get paid a dividend. So why wouldn't you buy some Ford in your long-term portfolio and just sit and collect dividends? Things changed on this one all the way last year. The tariff stuff helps Ford. Helps them compete. So this one, Figure, I don't know a lot about it, but damn, look at that. Box breakout. Note how it had the pink bar signal here, and instead of crashing down, it showed that everything changed, and it started moving higher. So you see these signals here are pay attention bars. They're not necessarily bearish. It's all about the reaction. Now, I don't know anything about this company, so would we have bought this inside bar the week after? Maybe. But that was a chance to trade it and own it at 37. Now it's at 58 and looking interesting. FTAI, box breakout here. They had news, which I read about power generation. Hey, that's a hot theme. GEV, ooh, big, huge winner, but that's a pink bar signal. It's also a box breakout, but contrary volume. They're saying, I want it. Now a whole bunch of people saying, thanks, but we don't. And now look at that. That's a box failure because now it's below the level. That goes on our bearish list so we can watch it and see if it resolves into something else. GH, I like GH. Yellow bar signal to start. Look here at the sequence. Red, no, this one's not going anywhere. Green, I beg to differ. Moved up, formed a box, broke out. A lot more green, and now it's breaking out again. You see how you can interpret and read charts? I hope you're nodding that, hey, that this interpretations make sense. I hope that you're seeing what I'm seeing on the charts, because superior chart interpretation is what this game's all about. Once you really get dialed in and you start reading charts well, you just laugh at all the people on Twitter who are like, this setup looks amazing, and you look at the chart and you're like, that's about to crash. Or vice versa. This setup looks horrible, and you're like, that looks great, I want to buy it. So the better you get at chart interpretation, the better you get at trading overall, in my opinion. JP Morgan, little bearish one here, but we know financials are just constantly going up, so JP Morgan's probably just going to go up slowly as well. My dad owns a lot of JP Morgan. He loves Jamie Dimon. Lemonade. This one is a Darvas box breakout on here, but from what I see, this doesn't belong on this list anymore. Why? Because now it's forming a sideways box. My minimum is 3 bars. You can't do a box in 2 bars. So minimum is 3. Because this is forming a sideways box, I'm going to put this off the list into watching. MU, box breakout. Look at that. Going straight up. Memory problems everywhere. Just a big winner, and it's probably going to keep winning. PL, again, space is hot. Coming all the way back here, there's that yellow bar signal telling us, pay attention. Box breakout, tight range. Look at that, jeez. Huge breakout. Oh, I forgot, why didn't I circle that? Huge, formed another box, breakout, huge. I am long right in here. I didn't even know this stock existed until like right in here. I'm like, what's this PL? I've never heard of it. And look at that. Space is hot. Does PL have any earnings? Let's take a look. Uh, 34, 282 million. Okay, so it's making some money, but it's got a $7 billion market cap. Just be aware that there's not a lot to this in terms of stake, but there's a lot of sizzle. That's why we pay attention to the chart, because if something goes wrong, yeah, we'll get out and sell it. But there's been nothing wrong with this chart so far. And here's what I consider this one to be the best one of the bunch, the space bunch, Rocket Lab. I had it from here to here, and like a dum-dum, I didn't rebuy. I didn't know I was going to do this, but look at that. It went from 40 to 84. It doubled in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. Jesus. No, 6 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it formed that inside bar signal right there. We could have bought it right here, set a buy stop, and gone in and enjoyed another double. I can't tell you why I didn't do it. I just don't know. but looks bullish. Hard to complain on that one. Rocket. I've watched Rocket for a long time. I've traded it before. Beneficiary mortgages. I think Rocket looks phenomenal. I started screwing around with it back in here. Made some money from here to here. Tried it in here and here, but that clearly was not a good time. I tried it off that inside bar, and that was basically a failure. And then didn't touch it in here, and now we're back again. And you could see here, you could see how it's going towards a box breakout. So I'm like, why am I not in Rocket? Because it's going to break out. And then we got this announcement, and blammo. RDX, defense contractor, box breakout, had multiple ones. And now here's this signal here. It's kind of bearish signal, but that's based on President Trump's announcements. But there wasn't really much that says bad. They're just a little shake and bake. Long term, just stick with it. Here's a new one, Sky T. I only heard about this one recently. A hedge fund manager I know and I talk with was telling me about this, and boxing it up. Look at that. A lot of green volume. Looks good. Tried to break out here, but look at that contrary volume came in. That was during November. And then went sort of sideways, and then it launched this past week, and I'm like, oh, geez. This one, which looks interesting, is ripping. I'll buy some. Well, look at that. Week 2. I'm not complaining. I would have been happy if this was up to 23. But I bought it in here at the top of that bar, and boy, it sure paid off. TE, look at that yellow bar signal right here with the breakout. Can you see it? Now, I keep my charts on arithmetic. I'm not a fan of log, because I want to feel something moving. I want to feel it go from $1 to $7. In my opinion, log charts are just, whatever. Like, I can't feel the energy. So that's why I keep them on arithmetic. Your choice how you want to do it. Most charts are on log scale. But to me, I feel the energy on this one. So if we back it up, blammo. What a move. Now, I didn't know this stock existed back here. And I learned about it in here. I wasn't really thrilled with that big red bar, but it just keeps moving higher. So I do not have any position in this one. But it's a textbook box breakout. And textbook stuff I put on this list. All right, let's look at bullish lists. These are stocks that, how are we doing on time? Okay, we'll get faster. Bullish stuff is stuff that is bullish, but is not the textbook pattern. To me, the textbook pattern is just by far the leader. Bullish signals are just bullish. Now, AOI here had a bullish signal right here. It had a breakout here, but no volume. No volume sometimes is a red flag. On the pullback, I bought it, and then it went higher, and I'm like, yay. And then this week, all it did was sell down this week. So what do? I sell for a smidge profit, and now this stock should be on the bearish list with the pink bar. I couldn't believe it. It sold off. I literally could not believe it. But, bought in the 35s. It was up in the 40s, the 40, and then came right back down. And I'm like, oh my God. But here's the thing. You got to pay attention, because when it's doing something you do not expect, you got to prepare yourself to blow out. I bought it like right in here, went up to here. All right, we're rocking and rolling. And then from here, clunk, 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 clunk. It was like, you got to be kidding me. And what's funny is some people talk bullish after the pink bar here. This is a daily chart. Some people talked bullish, like about in here and all that. No. And then look at that. They just got reamed. And also volume shows it. Small green, big red, small, big red. Just no. Just, it's saying, it's yelling, just stay away. Boeing, box breakout, looks good. No volume though, but now some volume. Oh, and any stock like that can totally work. BE, big volume all the way back here. Yellow bar start there. Man, and look at the time. You had to sit for months from here to here. And then it ramped, and then, the signal here, but now it's coming back on strong. Maybe it breaks out again. I don't know. Not an easy one to hold through all this. From 75 to 134, very difficult to hold. So if you sold in here, don't beat yourself up. Caterpillar, valid box breakout, but no volume. Moving higher. Credo, this was a big bearish bar, and I covered this. This was a big bearish bar, and then it triggered bear, and it was heading down, and then buying came back into this. So I shorted it here. I had actually bought it here, sold it here, shorted it here, because you got a big glaring signal right here saying we don't want it. And then, bottom of the box, it's screwing around, so I covered it as it came back. This is a bullish signal. Should we be buying this? Maybe. But what concerns me is how from 210, from call it 175 to 210, people wanted to sell it. If they thought it was a good value between 175 and 210, they would have kept it and not sold it. Instead, they sold it down. So do we want to buy this bullish hammer signal? Well, I don't know. Some people will go for it. Some won't. Maybe these sellers won't fight it if it goes up to here. But I don't know. More research needs to be done. But that's a bull signal, bullish. Dave. Yellow bar buy signal here. It's been doing its thing, moving higher. Deck is on the bullish list because of this little inside bar here, and it's moving up. But, I don't see anything special here. It hasn't flopped completely off of that right there. So I'll keep this on one more week, and we'll see if anything shows up. Oh, my memory. But deck, as you can see here, has had a real rough run. Sideways, red sell volume. But yeah, rebounded a little. Could made a little bit of money on the rebound, but come on, TC. Every now and then the program does this. It hangs, and I got to wait for it to figure out. Come on. Oh, Lord. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I think it's because my computer is an old computer, and I think I need to buy more RAM memory for it. Because as programs get bigger, they require more memory and more memory. And this computer is old. I'm on an Alienware 13-inch laptop, but what year was it did I buy it? Like, I don't know, 2015? So 10-year-old computer and all that. DOCN docking, big, long box range. Look at that, over like 2.5 years. 2.5 years going between 20 and 50. And now, box breakout, I'm a buyer here. I do own this. Also, it had this yellow bar signal right in here, which said pay attention, something's happening. What's really interesting is how the volume, the red cell volume, was even bigger. People just wanted to get rid of it. And now look at it now. GE, General Electric, doing great. All GE does is go higher. Look at that. Box breakout, moving higher. GLW. Bearish shooter bar right here. As it tried to break out, got rejected. Was looking good. And then until this week, pink bar signal gets moved to the bearish list. But they make critical components, so maybe it's just going into a resting period. Maybe it needs 6 months, and then it's going to blast out of it again. I don't know. We'll still pay attention to it. Google, the big winner. Yellow bar signal, big box, breakout, green volume. Has there been any big red cell volume? Yeah, right here. Why are you selling it? Up. And now another box breakout. Oh, look at that. If I can see the volume here, that means this is a textbook. Whoopsie. That core view is a relative strength view. Google is a textbook. Leader. Interactive brokers. 7036, 7047. That is a textbook Darvas box breakout. More leaders. Jumia. I'm long this one. Box breakout here, but volume was low, so it goes on list 3, not list 4. List 2, excuse me. But still, bullish, looking good. Africa. Remember Africa? Light. Huge winner. From here all the way, then from here all the way up. Pink bar signal. Means sit up and pay attention. Doesn't mean the run's over. Doesn't mean everything's over. But it does mean maybe something's changing. We need to pay attention. LPTH, I like this one. I discovered this one only just recently. I want to buy this one, but I don't know how. I'm going to have to wait for a signal here, because here's what's great. Green. But then you see the pink showed up. These two showed up. It didn't really like it in the 8s and 9s. Went sideways here for a couple months, and now it's going higher with more green again. But I don't know. I'm thinking it might come back down. I'm a little wary. Why did they sell it in this area? Where'd the sellers? No sellers show up? But basically, I've missed it, and I need to wait for an opening. I could chase it right here, but this is a little extended right now, so we'll just watch. Watch and wait. Uh-oh, NVIDIA, pink bar signal. NVIDIA sideways. Did NVIDIA rip this past week? No, it did not. It didn't do anything. What people forget is chips are cyclical. NVIDIA is a cyclical company. So maybe it's going to go for a rest now. Oklo, yellow bar buy signal. And we'll see what happens. Am I buying Oklo? No. Because this is another one of these companies with nothing to it. Big promises will take years to deliver. But energy. But the reason why this is on the list is because of this bar right here. It had this bearish shooter bar here. You could have shorted it this whole time down to this way. Maybe you covered it when it reclaimed. So that would have been a 160 to 80 short. You would have made 50%. And bragged that you shorted it this whole time. ONDS. Everybody loves this. Box breakout here. And now continuation move higher. Looks good, but again, it's not a textbook breakout. And by the way, You had this section right here, which is interesting, and now it keeps going higher. Broke out way back here. If I had known about this company, I might have bought this breakout. So this one, more drones, yellow bar buy signal. We'll see what happens, see if this develops and breaks out. PI, yellow bar buy signal, moving higher. This is a hard one to trade. I watch it, but I don't trade this one. But man, maybe we should. Monthly. Back here, it went from 220 down to frickin' 80. But we had a valid signal. I missed that signal. Valid signal on the monthly. And we could have ridden it all the way back up here. I don't know. That's a hard one. Qubits. That's a bearish hammer signal. Well, a box breakout, but a bearish hammer signal. This should be on the bear list. Bearish shooter signal, pardon me. Reddit, sideways. But the reason it's on this list is because inside bar, and it broke up from that. But I know some people who love Reddit. Maybe not. I don't know. But just keep an eye on it. RDW, bullish blue signals. No box structure. Look, and I have this giant negative one. So, I don't know. We'll see. Rivian. A lot of churn action here. But it recovered, now moved higher. Now, I don't know. It's forming a sideways box. And because of that, we're going to move this to the watching list. Shark Ninja looks great. Box breakout here, yellow bar signal here. Moved up, didn't really do anything, moving higher. SanDisk. Awesome. Box breakout here. Up. Sideways box. Move out, and then blammo, the big volume here. Definitely a winner. STX. Breakout here, no volume though. Then sideways, and now moving higher. So positive, but this one is incredible. You had a signal here, and then look at that. If you took it from 90 to 300, like a frozen rope. There's so much opportunity out there. It's incredible. And if you know signals, then there we go. Okay, this one, drones, UMAC. I tried this one back in here. I tried it again here and here, and each time it was like no bueno. Come back here, and now it's back for the third time. Up, signal. And what is that? That's a bearish shooter bar right there. This stock may just be way ahead of its time, but I'm going to put this on the bearish list. Go on Twitter and do a search for UMAC, UMAC. Everybody's talking bullish on it. What did I just show you? The weekly has a bearish signal. Am I going to be buying it next week? No. But I don't know what it's going to do. We think it'll maybe go down next week, but maybe not. I don't know. But this is how you'll get some extra knowledge that people don't have. And you'll be able to laugh at their, like Conan, what is best in life? Watch the movie. Western Digital, same deal as STX. Bullish hammer signal from here, 47 to 200. Awesome. Okay, that's the bullish list. Let's look at the bearish list. This is what we got to be careful about. Notice here, the bearish list is actually pretty big. Let's see if we'll cut that down. How many did we have on the The textbook list was 20 stocks. What is that, 20? Yeah, 20. The bullish list is about 20 also, so that's 40. And now we're looking at the bearish. The bearish has 45. Is this a mixed market? Based on the charts, would you agree with that? Yeah, I kind of agree, but we'll see if any of these stocks need to be moved. All right, we know about this one. Apple. Box break down. I saw somebody I know saying, I'm buying Apple on the rebound. Now, it's not my job to interfere with other people's decisions, but I'm like, are they seeing this right? Bearish hammer, pink bar warning, inside, nothing, no big green volume, and then just timber drops, and here we go down. Is there any reason we should be buying this stock right now? If you say yes, I want to slap you. Now, maybe it does rebound because it's hitting, something in here. It's not crashing, it's just down. But I just don't see anything bullish. Now, maybe there's something bullish on the daily. Nope, nothing here. Look at that. Red, 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 red. You're gonna buy into them dropping size on you? Ugh. There's that shooter bar right there, even on the daily. How about the monthly? Oh, let's get a better one at the monthly. Okay, monthly is not looking awful. That's a breakout, and now it's coming down. So, yeah, maybe this is the limited down. At 249, 250, maybe that's where it rebounds. But if it keeps going farther down, then there's problems. APP, down on this list just because it failed. It tried to break out, failed. See, no volume down here. I'd say this is actually more sideways now because it's back in the box. No other signals. Broadcom. Is Broadcom bullish or bearish? We know that semiconductors are up, but it tried to break out here and then huge pink bar and then huge red selling. Is this going to launch into a brand new uptrend? Hard to say based on that. Is it going to crash downwards? Well, maybe, but maybe just more sideways. We'll see. Oh, sell H. Yellow bar signal. All right. Well, score one for the bulls. I don't love sell H, but we know about Cien. Oh, this one, awful. I do keep tabs on companies, even though I'll never buy them, but I just want to keep an eye. Maybe we'll take a look. Because maybe that turns around and I want to know about it. But I'm going to actually put it on this one. It's so awful, I don't even want to show it to you. Coinbase. Who here is bullish on Bitcoin and coin? Stop. White bar sell signal, box breakdown, just downtrend. There's no reason to be doing anything in here. These buyers in here, well, I hope it works out for you guys. Costco. Big Darvas box range. Breakdown at the end of the year. Double inside. Remember I told you about double inside. That means something's going to happen. And then blammo. First week, buyers show up. I'm going to leave this here for another week or so, and then I'll move it. CrowdStrike. Down, down. Yeah, where are the bulls at? Box breakdown and nothing going. Dash. How do you think that insider who bought $100 million in shares feels right about now? Dash selling off. And that's a bearish shooter bar here. Dash may go back down to the 180. If this goes below 200, then that insider who bought is underwater. We'll see how it works out. Oh, housing, DHI. That is a bullish signal. But notice here, should we rush out and buy DHI for housing? Well, no, it's inside a box range. It's probably going to be going sideways for a while, but I'll still put it out there. ELF, huge drop down. None of this gets me excited. Keep it there. For solar. Pink bar, Darvas box breakdown, volume. Was anybody bullish on solar? I was for a nanosecond. GV, we know about that. GLW, we know about that. GME. Who here's still waiting for Roaring Kitty to make an appearance? God, this just looks awful. It's just a bad business. No matter what they do, it's still a bad business. Next. Hims. Anybody still believe in Hims? You go on Twitter, you talk smack about Hims. Oh, you'll get hundreds of people coming at you. But look at this. Failure and clunk, clunk, clunk. There's just nothing here. Stay away. Lennar, look at that. This was a very bearish chart here. Down, clunk, clunk, and now that's a rebound, but should you be excited about Lennar? No. Light, we know about. This one, ugh. Keeping tabs. Monday. I've seen better Mondays. Drop. Sideways. Drop. Ugh. Microsoft. No wonder tech is going nowhere. Big tech. Sideways Darvas box. Breakdown here. And look at this sideways action. That doesn't look bullish at all. MSTR. Down, 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 down. Mike Saylor is changing his name to Mike Silver. Now, people are buying into this. At the moment, I don't know why. There's still not really a box structure. There's no real signals. I'd say an avoid. Netflix. Box breakdown. Well, look at this. Sideways action. Bullish. Hey, bullish. Inside reaction. Not so hot. Whenever you see a yellow, you want it to take off. When the reaction is muted and doesn't go anywhere, then the crash downwards and now down, 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 down. And I think they're going to lose that Warner thing. I don't subscribe to Netflix. Do you? Cancel it. Nectar Therapeutics, a few biotechs. Clunk, down, down, down. Now, software. Who says software is bullish? Remember we saw IGV software was on the downswing. If you want to short something, by the way, I'm short this company. If you want to short stuff, I run a long-short portfolio with both longs and shorts. You want to short something, this is what you want to short. This will hedge out your longs and reduce your overall volatility so you can sleep at night. So if you got a bunch of longs and you're having trouble sleeping, put a short on here. You'll make money if the market goes down. I shorted it here. I covered here. I shorted it again. Does this look bullish to you? Let's look at it on the bigger picture. Monthly. Look at that. Pink bar here. Pink bar here. Bearish. This looks like it wants to crash downwards through its Darvas box on that time frame. Quarterly. Oh, I don't have anything drawn. But from what I see, see how there's plenty of bearish signals on here? Let's look at the yearly. Ooh. If it takes out the low of this bar, of the prior year bar, look out below. It takes out 135. In fact, let's put an alert for 135. If it takes out 135, then it's totally down. When can it go? It could go down to 70. If you're looking for shorts, you want the opposite of bulls. NTRA. Here's a bearish shooter bar, but we'll see. NVIDIA, we know about that. Oscar. Oh, Oscar. I didn't know it did that. Well, I'm not a big fan of this stock. It's just a mess. Look at it. Mess, 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 mess. So it's like, who cares? I don't want to contaminate the bullish stuff with this one. Okay, Path. I sold Path this week. Path is just struggling to get anywhere, and I sold it because it was finally showing like it might have a box breakout, and then came right back down. God. And I had the pink bar signal here, so I'm not a dummy. I know when something is happening, but I was very hopeful in here, and then it came down. I'm like, come on. And then it just, when it was up, I'm like, no, we're back. We're okay. And then when it gave it up, I'm just like, okay, it's time to bail. So I'm out of Path. I'm sorry. Qubits, we know. Ferrari, breakdown. Ferrari looks awful. Roblox, awful. Clunk, clunk. Red, 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 red. I mean, what more do you need? Root, well, it still looks awful. No volume. We'll keep it there. SE, box breakdown, came back. They'll call that an undercut and reclaim. But look at this. Look at this bar. That's a bearish bar. We'll keep it there. Did anybody have any money on Spotify doing badly? The top was right here. Stinger. Oh, that's making a comeback. You know what? On this one, I do see a box. I'm going to put this back into watching. So you see, this is how I move my lists around. TG, clunk down, box breakdown. Uber, well, this is a bullish bar, but it's overall bearish, so we'll just keep it here another couple of weeks. UMAC, we know. Upstart, still down from this right here, even though it's rebounded a little. I'm keeping it here. URI, oh, okay, that's bullish. So this gives you a gist of how I move stocks around. Oh, that's bullish also. Look at that. Bullish hammer. This gives you a sense of how I move stocks around. Wi-Fi. Oh, look at that. This was here because it was from this right here where it was breaking down, but now it's just sort of clunking along. We'll move this to watching. So that's the bearish list. We whittled it down to 36. And the bulls increased by a few, so slightly tilted bullish. All right, last list, the watching list. Just to give you a sense, I may as well just show you what I got here. Fantastic Biotech, which I just keep an eye on. A-Lab. Everybody talks about how wonderful A-Lab is. Do you see anything here that's wonderful? I see a pink bar cautionary tale. AMD, still clinging. I'll bust out of this if it drops this next week. And net, more bearish looking bars showing up. APP, we know that. ARM's going nowhere. And ARM is looking like it might crash downwards out of the box, but right now it hasn't, so we'll just keep it here. ARQQ, the quantum just isn't doing anything. Just keeping an eye on it. I traded this one successfully last year. Asan, clunk, just didn't do anything. I thought this yellow was a sign that it might turn. So I bought some, but this was an underwhelming bar here. And then as it just sort of fizzled out, just sell it, move on. Just keep an eye on it. BBAI, everybody loves this one, but it's not doing anything. I don't get it. But I'll keep an eye on it. Bill, Mr. Bill, nothing much. Oh, that shouldn't be on this list. Did I put it on the wrong list? Well, the Blondie. Oh, okay. Look at that. Put this on the bullish list. Bullish because it's a breakout, but no volume. Berkshire. Oh, sideways, sideways. Now Warren's retired. Come on, he's not really retired. We all know that. He'll never stay away. Another box within the big box. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. Oh, that's a bullish signal right there on the bros. We'll see if that triggers. In fact, I might buy this if it triggers. The high here is 63.95. I want to, oops, come on. Oops, I gotta move it. Come on, baby. This is why I do all this on the weekend. Bullish looks good, forming a sideways box. Pink bar, oh, another one. My God. This is how crazy this past week was. Chime, everybody loves this one, but it's still sideways in a box. Keep an eye on it. Everybody loves this one. What do you see? Sideways in a box. There's just nothing there. Look at this slop right there. Core. Oh, another one. Okay, our bearish list is getting up there. Circle, doing nothing, just keep an eye on it. Core weave, sideways. I traded this one so many times successfully. It was awesome. And they were all shorts. Short here, cover here, short here, cover here, short here, cover here. That was the worst one. Short here, cover here. Fantastic. CSIQ. Ugh. I know of some people who are so bullish on this one. And again, superior chart reading. Just kept looking at it going, why? You like it? Why? And they'd be like, oh, that's so bullish. It's so great. Oh, Carvana. Where they bullish signal? Dell. Oof, Dell doesn't look so hot. Maybe it's time to get a new PC, a new laptop to replace my Alien. I don't know. Sideways there. This one, sideways action. This one might have potential. It was a buy opportunity right there just below the box, but you got to really love them. eToro, oof. Okay, the bearish list is getting bigger. If your stock was not a winner in week 1 here of trading, there's a decent chance it was a loser. Fig doing nothing. I have no idea what this one is, but I love the name. Starfighter Space. Fly. Nothing. Sideways. 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 I bought this and sold it here. It just... Good breakout here. Moved up, but now just trying to find the right spot. Hood. Who are sitting in Hood waiting for it? Come on, do something. Sideways. Oh, breakout. Intel. Oh, it's Intel, so I'm going to leave this here. But Intel is a breakout. Quantum. Not doing anything. I think this is a total short, but you got to wait for a signal. I shorted it here. I covered it here. There's a signal to cover right there. I should have done it the following week, but I didn't, and eventually caught there. But overall, do I want to own this for the long term? Sideways. Oh, Lily. Lily. Eli Lilly has a pink bar? A failed breakout? Wow. Lily's a winner, too. Lunar. Box within a box. This one's moving up. Look at that. Green. I'm going to put this in the bull list. Lift sideways. Meta sideways. NBIS up, but I'm not so sure I'd be interested in that. Neg. This one had a hell of a move here. And now sideways probably. Does lightning strike twice? Probably not. Net. Oh, look at that. Net is about to break the box. Okay, the bearish list keeps getting bigger. This one sideways. Steel. Uh-oh. I don't like seeing steel there. Normally I don't put steel into that, so we'll just keep an eye on that. Open. How many people were buying open at the moment? There's no structure. There's no signals. There's no nothing. Oracle. Barely sideways. Note the volume here on Oracle. It was collapsing all down here, and then the buyers stepped in and said, okay, that's enough. But notice how it hasn't really done anything since then. That Oscar, Palo Alto, singing aside. Palantir. Oh, yellow bar signal. That's crazy. I didn't know that. Palantir hasn't looked healthy, just sideways. Rubric. Yellow bar fizzled out. Down. Quantum doing nothing, but when they give up the ghost on these, this will crash down. But it's not there yet. Meridian, we know there. Run. I tried run here. I thought it was going to box breakout. It did not. Bailed. And now it's just going sideways. SEI. Oh, look at that. Looks like it wants to break out, but not yet. Shopify, sideways. Snow, that looks a little bearish. And here, I know we're at an hour and a half, so we're just about done. SoFi, sideways. The SoFi crowd loves SoFi. They love it. Just tell them, nope, no signals, sideways. T-Doc, keeping an eye on this. What a piece of crap. In fact, we'll put this in list 5, which is my don't even think about it list. Taiwan Semiconductor, look at that pink bar signal. Maybe we'll see some sell action next week. I don't know. Tesla finally forming a new box. Everybody loves Tesla. Everybody loves Tesla except the market. Where are the big buyers? And right here, sort of benign sideways. Elon's doing fine. UNH sideways. Venom sideways. That's oil and gas. This is a good one for income. And lastly, Wally Mart sideways. Oh, that's kind of a bullish thing. We'll put that in. That's a bullish signal. Note Walmart's big sideways base. Compare it to Costco. It's amazing, just night and day. I've read how Walmart's been using AI and technology It's just amazing company. And folks, WRD. This one is one I keep. It's coming up out here of a little box. Big, 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 big green, big green, big green. This reminds me of BE. Big, big, big there. So we keep an eye on it. And we're waiting for the go signal. Is this it? At some point, maybe this kicks in, but haven't seen anything yet. And now our last name, Wolf, sideways. Wi-Fi sideways. Oh, Zim shipping. This company's probably going to get sold. But, and when I read about it, it's so funny. The current CEO tried to buy the company for really cheap, and I guess the board rejected it. Good for the board. And that's the list. Going through all the lists, there may be some stocks which I don't know about or that aren't on the list. If I'm missing anything awesome, let me know. But that's going through the market. We see a lot of bulls, a lot of bears, rips and dips. So just keep in mind that we've had a good start to the week, to the year, but we may see some selling this next week. So hopefully you bought the right stuff that looks like this, and not the wrong stuff that looks like that. So I wish you the best. And if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have a great trading week. Talk to you soon. Bye.